accordingly. So now he gives a few Shastra quotes to explain how the Bhagavatam is compared to lamp, sun, the tasty fruit, and Moni Avatar. Okay, please read.
Bhagavatam is compared to a lamp in the following two verses. Yasvanubhavam Akhila Shruti Saravekam
Adhyatmadipam Aditirshatam Tamondham Samsarinam Karunaya Paramam Bhulyam Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Guru Muninam.
I surrender to the son of Vyasa, the incomparable Guru of all the sages, who mercifully spoke the Purana, full of hidden meanings, the essence of all the scriptures, the essence of hearing for all the people of this world, even in the future, who spoke the Bhagavatam, which revealed the excellence of Rasa to Sukdeva, and which is revealer of the Atma for those who desire to cross dense ignorance with ease.
Okay, so here the word Adhyatma Deepam has come, Deepam. So therefore the Bhagavatam is compared to a lamp which gives light in the darkness. Okay.
I meditate upon that pure, spotless Narayana who is free from suffering and death and who previously revealed this incomparable lamp of knowledge to Brahma. Brahma then spoke it to the sage Narada, who narrated it to Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. Srila Vyasa revealed this Bhagavatam to the greatest of the sages, Sukadeva Goswami, and Sukadeva Goswami mercifully spoke it to Maharaja Parikshit.
12, 13, 19, we already saw this verse yesterday. So these two verses are showing how the Bhagavatam is compared to a lamp. And then the Bhagavatam is compared to a sun in this famous verse which we already recited yesterday. Krishna Swadhama Bhagavate Dharma Jnanadivi Saha Kalo Nashta Drishamesha Purana Ko Dhanota Arka means sun. So we didn't put the translation for that. But then there is another verse which also talks about Krishna being like the sun. Okay, you can read.
Though Krishna departing Dwarka arrived at Prabhas and then disappeared along with six opulences, his Puran, another form of the sun, has now risen in the Kali Yuga for those who have lost their knowledge.
Okay, so these are two verses describing the Bhagavatam of Krishna to be like the sun. And the Bhagavatam is compared to the tasty fruit in the well-known verse which we're going to discuss very soon. Nigama kalpatarur galitam phalam. So there it's compared to the mature fruit. And there's this verse from the 12th canto which is describing, I'm just reading the translation. Bhagavatam is compared to Mohini Avatar because it gives different results to different people. From beginning to end, the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of the Lord's pastimes which give bliss to the devotees, endowed with the sense of renunciation. This Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedanta philosophy because its subject matter is one Brahman, a substance with no duality. The main goal of the work is merging. Okay, so the word is coming Kevalya. Keval Eka Prayojanam. So he had said that the Bhagavatam, it gives bliss to the devotees. It is the essence of all the Vedanta philosophy. But it said, what is the goal of the Bhagavatam? Kevalya. So the Bhagavatam also contains some bewildering verses like this. So now those who are impersonalists will say, what is the goal of the Bhagavatam? Kevalya. What is the Vaishnavacharya saying? Kevalyam Narakaya. So for the Vaishnavas, that very Kevalyam is Naraka. So when the Vaishnavas read the verse, then there is another meaning for Kevalya. What is the real meaning of liberation? Mukti ritva nitha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. So to be situated in one's eternal constitutional position as servant of the Lord. So you see the same verse of the Bhagavatam could have different meanings according to how one approaches the Bhagavatam. So therefore, everything depends on how we approach the Bhagavatam, which is not different from the Lord. As the Lord himself has said in the Bhagavad Gita, Ye yathamam prapadyante. In one lecture, Srila Prabhupada says that it is Krishna only who gives intelligence to the atheists to write volumes of books denying his existence. So without Krishna giving intelligence, nobody can write. So even if somebody wants to write against Krishna, Krishna only gives intelligence. Why he gives intelligence?
Whatever they want to do.
Okay. Why give such intelligence to those atheists?
Whatever is
Yes, because of their desire. Because they have a desire to write against him, then Krishna gives that type of intelligence. So it depends upon desire and how we approach him, our mentality and attitude in approaching him. Alright. So that's basically about the first verse. And there are also various other meanings of the verse which the acharyas have presented. Maybe we can have a look at. Okay. Somewhat visible. So this is from the Sandarbhas, where this first verse, Jiva Goswami is explaining in another way, slightly different meaning. So here he is giving the meaning of Janmadhyasya Yato, Janma Adi Asya, of the original Adi personality of Godhead. He is giving the meaning of Anvayad as going. After taking his birth in Mathura, he told his father to take him away from this place, Itarataha, to another place. Okay. So he took birth in Mathura and then he went to another place, Itarataha. And for that, Cha Artheshu, he made expert arrangements for that. So we all know the story. And the word Avijñā is very Swarat, one who lives with his devotees. He lives independently with his devotees, he performs pastimes with his devotees. So therefore, he was born in prison, wanted to go to his devotees in Gokul. So the translation of this first part is, I offer my respectful obeisances to the original personality, who just after taking his birth in a prison house in Mathura, was so expert that he, wishing to go and live with his devotees in Gokul, told his father to take him away to another place. Okay. So interesting meaning, correct? But then this is how the acharyas see one verse from so many different angles, and therefore somebody can speak on this one verse for 3 months. Right? You can just, this is just one, there are many more. There are at least 5, 6 like this different explanations on the first verse, and each one can be explained in so many details. Then he says, Tene Brahma, he expanded Hridaya by his own thinking, Adi Kavaye, that is Lord Brahma, Muyanti, bewildered, Yat Surya, great personalities. He expanded himself by his own thinking power into many cows and boys, and bewildered even great personalities like Brahma. Not only Brahma, demigod, but even Lord Baladev was bewildered for 1 year. So we all know this Brahma Vimohan Leela. So here he is referring to the Brahma Vimohan Leela when he says Muyanti Yat Surya. So yes, Brahmaji was bewildered. When he was bewildered? In the Brahma Vimohan Leela. And then Tejo Vari Mridam have the same meanings. Yatha Vinimayo, exchange, transformed. So Vinimaya also has almost the same meaning. Yatra Trisargo, he created pastimes in 3 places, Vrindavan, Mathura and Dwarka. So that is the meaning of Trisargo here. Amrisha, not false but real. That meaning is still the same. So the Lord created his eternal pastimes in 3 places, Vrindavan, Mathura and Dwarka. And they're so wonderful that they change the characteristics of one thing into another. So that is the meaning of Vinimaya. One mistakes one thing for the other, or this transformation of one thing into another. And so in this context, what is it referred to? They change the characteristics of one thing into another, such as when the moon lost its effulgence when Krishna played his flute. The Yamuna became solid and solid rocks melted. So that is the meaning of Vinimaya, which he's taking over here. And then Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam, all of Krishna's pastimes are free from illusion. Param Satya, Govinda by name is called Satya, Dhimahi, and meditates. So all of the places of Krishna's pastimes are free from Maya illusion, because illusion cannot approach these dhams. I therefore meditate upon the Supreme Lord Krishna. Satyam is the name of Krishna mentioned many times. So that's one meaning. Now we'll see one more meaning. So now, he says the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam is intended to describe not only the opulences and glory of both Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So another meaning he says that the verse especially refers to Krishna and Radharani. This verse describes their transcendental sweetness. Okay, somebody read.
Text 14. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestation, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living beings. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is viewed by the illusory representation of water seen in fire, or land seen on the water. Only because of him do the material universes, modes of natures, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existence in transcendental abode, which is forever free from illusory representation of material world. I meditate upon him.
Okay, so this is the standard meaning which Srila Prabhupada has given. Okay, now he talks about another meaning. In this verse, the words Yato Anvayat mean Lord Krishna, who is attached to Srimati Radharani, his transcendental pleasure potency. And the word Itarataha means his eternal companion, Srimati Radharani. Okay, so Anvayat means Krishna, Itarataha means Srimati Radharani. That's and the meaning is given. So in this verse, the word Yataha means from whom. Adyasya means the meadow of Madhurya Ras, and Janma means manifestation. The meaning is that they are the transcendental abode of the signs of Madhurya Ras. So Anvayat, Itarataha, and so Janma, Janmadi, Yasya. So he's saying Adyasya. So they are the cause, or they are the Janma. Janma means manifestation. They're the cause of Madhurya Ras. That is the meaning. And next, the great sweetness of the wonderful pastimes is described in the word Artheshu, which means in many pastimes. Avigya, which means expert. The word Swarat means in her company. He shines with great splendor. Thinking by their mercy, I shall completely describe the wonderful divine couple. He, Vedavyas, then spoke the next part of this verse. Adi Kavaye here means, to me, Vedavyas. Okay, totally different meaning. So he's referring to Adi Kavaye as himself, Vedavyas, who am now beginning the descriptions of their pastimes. Ridha here means by the gateway of the heart, and Brahma means the spiritual worlds that describe their pastimes. Yatene means who in the beginning revealed this entire Purana in my heart. Okay, so here he's saying Adi Kavi as Vedavyas, and these beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna have been revealed to Vedavyas from within the hearts. Thus, Vyasadeva fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, without any tinge of materialism. And thus he saw the absolute personality of God along with his external energy, which was under full control. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material necessities. Okay. The word Yad here means about whom. Surya means even Antashesh and those like him. And Mulyanti means are not able to even begin to understand or describe their very wonderful virtues and the handsomeness of their transcendental forms. They think if Srimati Radharani is not merciful to me, then even if I have form like Lord Madhava's own form, I shall not be able to understand pastimes such as the one that begins with this verse. So in this way, the acharyas are giving different meanings of this first verse itself. So therefore, he says the word Dhimahi means I meditate on Shri Shri Radha Krishna. So, okay. So now we are going to verse 2. Okay. Let's recite. Dharma projita kaitavotro paramanirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayormulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimma Parerishvara Sadhyo Rityavarudhyate Atra Kritivi Shushushvi Statshana. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Puran propounds the highest truth which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of the Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. Okay, please read the second and third paragraphs of the purport.
In the lower stages of human civilization,
Okay, so we just to remind everyone, please follow the etiquette. The etiquette is that we read in line wherever the mic is.
In the lower stages of human civilization, there is always competition to lord it over the material nature, or, in other words, there is a continuous rivalry to satisfy the senses. Driven by such consciousness, man turns to religion. He thus performs pious activities or religious functions in order to gain something material. But if such material gains are obtainable in other ways, then so-called religion is neglected. This is the situation in modern civilization. Man is thriving economically, so at present he is not very interested in religion. Churches, mosques, or temples are now practically vacant. Men are more interested in factories, shops, and cinemas than in religious places which were erected by their forefathers. This practically proves that religion is performed for some economic gains. Economic gains are needed for sense gratification. Often, when one is baffled in the pursuit of sense gratification, he takes to salvation and tries to become one with the Supreme Lord. Consequently, all these states are simply different types of sense gratification. In the Vedas, the above mentioned four activities are prescribed in the regulative way so that there will not be any undue competition for sense gratification. But Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to all these sense gratificatory activities. It is the devotees of they are on the path and pure in heart. In the material world, things of the Lord are not only free from material envy, but are the contemporary socialist perception of a competitionless society is artificial, because in the social view of the Vedas, or from the point of view of common human activities, sense mentioned in the Vedas. One involves primitive activities to gain promotion to better planets. Another involves worshipping different demigods for promotion to the planets of the demigods, and another
The subject matter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and is saying Dharma Projita Kaitava Atra. So Projita means completely kicks out. Ujjita means completely kicks out, or completely, pra means Prakrishta Rupina, completely. Srila Prabhupada in one lecture he says, just like one takes a broom and thoroughly cleans whatever is unnecessary. So similarly, the Bhagavatam totally rejects all types of cheating religions. Kaitav dharma, all types of cheating or pretentious religion. So question for you, what is the distinction between real and pretentious religion? What are some of the differences between real dharma and Kaitav dharma or pretentious religion? Yes, anyone? Yes.
The real religion makes one eligible for love of God.
Okay.
Pretentiously, it is gets stuck up in dharma or karma.
Okay, good point. So real religion is based on prema. The pretentious religion could be for dharma or karma. Yes, right.
It makes a person, real religion makes a person release the highest mellow of Krishna Prema, but other religions makes him to taste the misery of this world. Means it's like going on with repetition of birth.
Okay, so so the real religion helps one to get out of this material world. The pretentious religion may simply bind one to the material world, continue the cycle of birth and death.
Real religion is related to our constitutional position, soul, whereas pretentious religion is related to body.
Okay, so one is related to the soul, other is related to the body. Okay, fine. Yes, sir.
Dharmastu Sakshat Bhagavad Pranita.
Mm.
As it is coming from the Bhagavan, that is the real religion.
Yes.
Anyone interprets and gives some these all other things that
Mm.
is interpreted.
Okay, good point. So yes, the dharma which is coming as it is from the Supreme Lord, that is real religion, but all types of misinterpretations, that could be Kaitav dharma. Yes, some other points? Yes, ma'am.
Real religion detaches from this material world, but Kaitav religion is bound.
Okay, one is liberating, one is binding. Any other points? Difference between real and pretentious religion? Yes, Vishnu.
Religion is performed for artha.
Ah,
Pretentious. And
okay.
it is for serving the God, following instruction.
okay. Okay, fine. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
But the real religion give us our real position, like give us Sri Krishna Das. But pretentious religion, they make us boss or boss mentality. Like.
Okay, so one is the mode of a servant, the other is the mode of a master. Okay, fine. Anything else? So one is selfless. Real religion is based on selfless love, whereas pretentious religion has some elements of selfishness, where one is thinking about one's own benefit. So Srila Prabhupada is talking about dharma here. Okay, please read.
Dharma means the real characteristics. The characteristics cannot be changed, just like water is liquid. The characteristic is that every one of us is serving somebody superior. Therefore it is said, Dharma projita kaitava atra. Kaitava means cheating, which is not Dharma, which is not the characteristic. The characteristic is that I am eternally servant of God. Instead of giving service to God, I am now engaged in the service of the dog. So on the standard of this so-called service, the Bhagavad Dharma is not discussed.
Yes, so on the bodily concept of life, there cannot be real dharma. Okay, so this Bhagavad Puran propounds the highest truth. So as Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport also, that these days we find that most people practice some sort of dharma just for artha, just for economic development, economic gain. And then when people see that, okay, we can get economic gain without going to the temple also. So that's why all the temples, mosques, churches, everything is empty, because people think we can gain money from other sources. Why? What is the need to go to religion for getting money? Srila Prabhupada tells the example of in Germany during the Second World War, the ladies were praying that their husbands and sons may come back from the war. But when they did not come, what happened? Yes, they became atheists, because what's the use? So we are not getting what we want, then what is the use? So therefore many times one tends to practice dharma for some economic gains, for material gains. So all that falls within the category of Ketav Dharma, when one is thinking about selfish gains. Or as Srila Prabhupada very often gave the example of the Christians who go to church and pray, "Oh God, please give us our daily breads." So all these are not real forms of religion. Okay, that's exactly what he's saying here. Okay, okay with this?
Other also, the so-called religious system, they also think like that. The Christians, they go to church, "Oh God, give us our daily bread." So this bread supplying business is like that. God simply supplies bread and we eat and we enjoy. Similarly, the Hindu system also there is, "Oh God, give me some money. I am very poor. I am suffering from disease. Please cure it." And so everywhere you will find some motive in religion.
So it says a motive in practice of religion. Okay, from the Adi Lila purports, the process of Bhagavad Dharma is the transcendental religion, that is the eternal function of the living being. In Srimad Bhagavatam, a distinction between real religion and pretentious religion is clearly made. And this is a purport from the Madhya Lila of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, please read.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives the following commentary on the words Bhagavad Vichara. As confirmed in the Mundaka Upanishad, there are two kinds of educational systems. Quote, "There are two kinds of educational systems. One deals with transcendental knowledge, Paravidya, and the other with material knowledge, Aparavidya. All the Vedas, the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda, along with their corollaries, known as Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakrana, Nirukta, Chanda, and Jyotisha, belong to the inferior system of material knowledge, Aparavidya. By Paravidya, one can understand the Akshara, Brahman, or the Absolute Truth. As far as the Vedic literature is concerned, the Vedanta Sutra is accepted as the Paravidya. Srimad Bhagavatam is an explanation of that Paravidya.
Continue.
As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam itself, 12:13-18, Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yat Vaishnavanam Priyam. Although Srimad Bhagavatam is counted among the Puranas, it is called the spotless Purana because it does not discuss anything material. It is liked by transcendental Vaishnava devotees. The subject matter found in Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for Paramhamsas. As it is said, Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam. A Paramhamsa is one who does not live in the material world and who does not envy others. Srimad Bhagavatam is Srila Vyasadev's last mature contribution, and one should read and hear it in an assembly of realized souls while engaging in devotional service. At such a time, one can be liberated from all material bondage.
Yes, so this is Madhya Lila, 19th chapter, text number 17. Okay, so interesting points. Srila Prabhupada is quoting from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, where he's making a distinction between Paravidya and Aparavidya. Okay, so the Aparavidya is also Vedic subjects. Okay, so it's not something which is totally materialistic. So it is still dealing with various aspects of the Vedas. It is dealing with the Vedas and its corollaries, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, and all these things. But he says they're all Aparavidya. Then what to speak of modern education? So therefore, Srila Prabhupada very clearly says that modern education is actually, it's not education at all. It is simply craftsmanship. What's that? Shilpakar, right? So it's only craftsmanship. So it's basically all Shudra work. That's all. So one may get big degrees, but ultimately it is all Shudra work only, because it's not explaining anything about matter, spirit, the relation between both. And so therefore we find that even though people may have degrees, there is no character. Right? There is no character. Why? Because there is no real knowledge. Knowledge is meant to bring about transformation of hearts. Knowledge is supposed to bring about character. But what do we find in modern day schools and colleges? And people who come out from there, and join so many companies and all that. Now, absolutely no character. Right? So, these days, big cities like Mumbai and Bangalore and Delhi, the four sinful activities are so rampant, so rampant. In Bangalore, very interestingly, I didn't see it anywhere else. I don't know if it's there in any of these other cities. In Bangalore, I saw on a shop, or it's quite a big building actually, not shop, big building, and it was written liquor library. You saw it anywhere else? No, others are not so advanced, I think. But that's the state of affairs. That's the state of affairs. And then who are the people going to such places? No, all the educated people with their big degrees. They are the ones who go to such places, coming out of IT companies. Why? Because there's no education. It's not education at all. So it's just Shudra work. And therefore they're behaving like Shudras. And so therefore, here the Acharyas is saying that even the Vedas, which talk about other subject matters, as Prabhupada is also describing in the next paragraph. So the Vedas are also talking about Karma Kand, Jnana Kand, Upasana Kand. They're not talking exclusively about the Supreme Absolute Truth. And so therefore all these other subject matters which are not talking about the Absolute Truth fall under the category of Aparavidya. And Paravidya means only the Supreme Absolute Truth. That is Paravidya. So therefore he is making a distinction. So that means it is only the subject matter of the Supreme Absolute Truth that can be called as real Dharma. Anything else falls under the category of Kaitav Dharma, pretentious religion. And therefore, it is only the Srimad Bhagavatam which is Amala Purana, the spotless Purana. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam has no other subject matter except the Supreme Absolute Truth. And therefore, Vaishnavanam Priyam. Therefore, it is dear to the Vaishnavas. And here's an additional point Srila Prabhupada is making here is that how the Srimad Bhagavatam must be discussed. The Srimad Bhagavatam must be discussed in an assembly of realized souls. So many realized souls over here. So we are fortunate to be discussing Bhagavatam in the assembly of realized souls, but at the same time engaging in devotional service also. So not simply speculating on the Bhagavatam, but then there must also be practical devotional service. Then one can be liberated from all material bondage. In the seventh canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj is speaking about 5 types of Kaitav Dharma. So he says there are 5 branches of irreligion, appropriately known as irreligion, Vidharma, religious principles for which one is unfit, Paradharma, pretentious religion, Abhas Dharma, analogical religion, Upadharma, and cheating religion, Charadharma. One who is aware of real religious life must abandon these 5 as irreligious. Srila Prabhupada in the purports is briefly defining each one of them. So please read.
Religious principles that obstruct one from following his own religion are called Vidharma. Religious principles introduced by others are called Paradharma. A new type of religion created by one who is falsely proud and who opposes the principles of Veda is called Upadharma. And an interpretation by one's jugglery of words is called Chaladharma. A pretentious religious system manufactured by one who willfully neglects the prescribed duties of his order of life is called Abhasa, a dim reflection of false similarity.
Okay, so these are brief definitions of each of these various types of Kaitav Dharma or irreligious forms of religion. Okay, so anything which is not focusing on the real Dharma of pure devotional service, which is contaminated by some other motives or some other forms of religion, they all fall under this category of cheating types of religions. Okay. Anything which is not according to the real principles of the scriptures, or which is based on a false interpretation by jugglery of words. So all these are called as cheating types of religion. Now next, Vyasadeva is speaking about who is qualified to understand the subject matter of the Bhagavatam. Paramo nirmatsaranam satham. So the subject matter can be understood, Vedyam, understandable by nirmatsaranam, and proper translates nirmatsaranam as 100% pure in heart. Only they can understand the Bhagavatam. So how many here can confidently say that we are 100% pure in hearts? Anyone? Hands, we can like to have your darshan. So then the next question may arise: if none of us is 100% pure in heart, then what's the point in studying the Bhagavatam? We can't understand it anyways.
By studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll come to this point.
Okay, by studying one can come to this point, but first one has to understand. Without being pure in heart, one can't understand. Then how one can become purified if one does not understand?
Prabhupada is pure. We are reading his purpose.
Yes, that's right. So therefore, on our own, if we try to understand, we cannot understand. If we try to understand on our own, we will be studying through our own mental filters. And we will be misinterpreting and concocting, and so many things will happen. Therefore, the most important part of the study is to study the Bhagavatam through the eyes, through the vision of the Mahabhagavat, who is 100% pure in heart. That's very important. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada very often quotes this verse which Swarup Damodar Goswami told the Bengali poet. You know this pastime from the Chaitanya Charitamrita? There was a Bengali poet who came with a poem to present to Mahaprabhu, but it had to go through the censor board. Who was the censor board? Swarup Damodar Goswami. He read it, he was very upset, and then he gave him some good instructions. The important instruction he gave him was Bhagavat Padiya Bhagavat Sthani. You study the Bhagavatam from a person Bhagavat, then you can understand. Otherwise there will be rasabhas. You won't be able to properly understand. And so therefore, studying the Bhagavatam from a person Bhagavat is very important. Sometimes devotees may tend to just read the verses, recite the verses, read the translations, and conveniently skip the purports and say we have finished the Bhagavatam. No. One will not understand anything like that. So the most important part of the Bhagavatam is understanding it through the person Bhagavat. And therefore, reading of Srila Prabhupada's purports and the Acharya's commentaries is extremely vital for the understanding of the Bhagavatam. So, if we skip the purports and the commentaries and just read the Bhagavatam with verses and translations, then that's just a ritual. Just a ritual of going through the Bhagavatam. But one will not understand much. And therefore the most important aspect is to study the purports. Scrutinizingly study the purports. That is the most important part of the study. And especially for us as members of ISKCON, it is vital to study Srila Prabhupada's purports. This is very important. This is the most important aspect of the Bhakti Vaibhav course. To study Srila Prabhupada's purports. Then only we can actually understand the Bhagavatam. Otherwise, it is not possible because we don't have that purity by which we can understand the Bhagavatam. Okay. Now, regarding Nirmatsaranam, Srila Prabhupada is talking about competitive sense gratification and envy. So he's saying that how, but Srimad Bhagavatam is translated to all these sense gratificatory activities, purely transcendental literature, which can be understood only by the pure devotees of the Lord who are transcendental to competitive sense gratification. In the material world, there's a keen competition between animal and animal, man and man, community, nation and nation. So there's keen competition because of envy. Envy. Srila Prabhupada tells some stories from Panchatantra and some places to show that how even amongst animals there is envy. Two stories he tells. One, he tells about a dog which was carrying a bone in his mouth. And then as he's crossing a bridge over a river, he sees the reflection in the water and he thinks there's another dog having another bone. And what he does? Immediately he starts barking and he loses his own bone. And surely he doesn't get anything more than that. And then another story Srila Prabhupada tells is about a rabbit. So the lion was eating the animals, they had a meeting and they said that every day one rabbit will go voluntarily to become food for the lion. And so one particular rabbit was very intelligent, and so when the rabbit purposefully goes late, and then when he meets the lion is very angry. Usually it's said a hungry man is an angry man. When one is hungry, one becomes angry. So the lion was very angry because his food came late. So he asked the rabbit, "Where were you? Why you're late?" So the rabbit said, "Sorry sir, but what could I do? On the way there was another lion, and that lion wanted to eat me. But then I told him, see, I promised another lion that I'll be his food. So first of all, I'll go and tell him and come back. That's why I become late." So then what this lion said, "Oh, there is another lion wanting to eat? Where is he? Show me." And then where the rabbit took him? Yes, to the well, and where the lion saw his own reflection. So even though lion, king of the jungle, but still after all an animal. So therefore buddhi is less, because after all animal, even though so powerful, but his intelligence is less. And so then he jumps into the well and goes. So Prabhupada tells these stories to make the point that how even amongst animals there is envy. And then amongst humans also. Why? Because that's the nature of material existence. Ichcha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohina. The cause of material existence is envy. And so therefore whoever one is, animal, man, bird, beast, whoever, there is envy. And therefore there is competition. Keen competition. So much of competition. You may have heard that that pastime when Srila Prabhupada went to the Dai Nippon company in Japan. And then he had the meeting with all those officers of the company managers. And then after the meeting, they all left their visiting cards on the table. And then Srila Prabhupada calls one young executive and asks him, "What's the goal of your life?" What does he do? A very graphic presentation. He takes all the cards, takes his own from below, lays it on top. That's the goal of my life. So that's material life. So much of competition, because of envy. And so therefore, definitely even when we come to devotional service, we carry these impressions from a material life. Now here it is being said that one who is non-envious, pure in heart, non-envious, can understand the Bhagavatam. So somebody may say that, okay, while I'm listening to Bhagavatam, I'll be non-envious. So here's a question. How important is one's attitude outside of class in the study of the Srimad Bhagavatam? Any thoughts? How important is one's attitude outside of class in the study of the Srimad Bhagavatam?
Actually, the most important is outside only because inside is we are learning, but the actual presentation, actual our change should be seen in our behavior in outside.
Yes. So why that outside the class behavior or attitude is important?
Same attitude will come.
Yes, the same attitude comes inside. And then what will happen? Yes, one cannot understand. Then we will try to understand the Bhagavatam through various filters. One will not be able to understand because ultimately understanding of the Bhagavatam is dependent on what? Attitude. Why is it dependent on attitude? Yes, ye yatha mam prapadyante. So ultimately, who gives the understanding of the Bhagavatam? Krishna, because Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. Therefore, to understand the Bhagavatam, who has to be pleased? Krishna has to be pleased. So therefore, if our attitude outside of the class is envious, and if we commit offenses because of envy, Krishna will be displeased. And when Krishna is displeased, even though we may try to study the Bhagavatam, the understanding of the Bhagavatam will not be revealed. Because the understanding of the Bhagavatam is a matter of revelation. So therefore, Atha Shri Krishna Namadhi Na Bhavet Grayam Indriye Sevon Mukhe Jivvado Swayam Eva Spuratya Adha. So Krishna reveals himself when one has service attitudes. As Srila Prabhupada has written that beautiful statement right in the preface of the Nectar of Instruction. What is that? Yes, advancement of a person in Krishna consciousness depends upon the attitude of its follower. So it depends on the attitude. If we have that service attitude, then Krishna will be pleased to reveal himself. And so, it is not based upon panditya. It is not based upon how many verses one knows. It is not based upon scholarship. This is not the true understanding of the Bhagavatam. The true understanding of the Bhagavatam is a matter of revelation. Because Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. And Krishna reveals himself to the degree one has that service attitude. So if one has an attitude which is based upon envy, material competition, criticism, blasphemy, fault finding, if that is the attitude, Krishna will not be pleased to reveal himself. Even though one may be a scholar in the Bhagavatam. So, just to, because this is an important quality which Krishna also is speaking in the Bhagavad Gita. Which verses? He says that only one who is non-envious can understand. Yes. Which verse is that? 9th chapter, 1st verse. Correct? In the 1st verse in the 9th chapter itself, Krishna is talking about Anasuyave. He's saying, Arjuna, I am giving this knowledge to you, very confidential knowledge, because you are non-envious. And the other verse? Bhaktosi me saka cheti rahasyam hi etat uttamam. So there also he's saying, I am giving this knowledge to you because you are my devotee and friend. So devotee and friend means one who is non-envious. So, only on the non-envious platform, Krishna reveals himself. So what are some of the solutions? So, being in the material world, we all have envy, correct? At least I'm assuming. Maybe some of you are not. But in any case. So what are some of the ways by which we can reduce the envy and ultimately get rid of the envy? What are some of the ways? Yes, Rajamanathan.
Glorify the devotee.
Yes, very good. Very important. Glorify the devotees. Yes, glorify the devotees, even though one may not like it. As an austerity. Some other points? Yes, serve the devotees.
By hearing his glories from other devotees.
Whose glories?
That devotee whom we are envious.
Oh, the devotee whom we are envious. Hear his glories from some other devotees. Quite difficult, isn't it? We're envious of someone. To hear his glories is like Kadila juice. But anyway, one can try. Yes. Something else?
Celebrating other success.
Celebrating others' success. Okay. Appreciating, glorification. Yes. What else? Yes, most important, chanting the holy names. To Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So that is what is going to cleanse the heart of all the anarthas. So yes, chanting the holy names. Of course, there must be a quality in the chanting. What is the quality of the chanting? Yes, attentive hearing of the holy names. And what is the other important quality of the chanting? Yes, one thing is the right attitudes, Trinadapi Sunichena, and yes, somebody said it. Yes, offenseless chanting, offenseless chanting. These are impediments. So even though the holy name is like the bright sun outside, but still one may not experience the effects of the holy name due to the cloud of anarthas, the mist of ignorance. So anyway, the important point is the offenseless chanting is what is important to get the full benefit of the chanting of the holy names. Okay? Any other points? How to get rid of envy? Yes, bro.
Dancing in Kirtan with the devotees.
Good. That's something easy. Yes. But then, of course, it's not only the dancing together.
Feasting also.
You can do everything together. You can dance together, you can feast together, you can do everything together. But then one must be together in spirit, not physically. Okay. I'm looking for one important point.
Discussing Krishna Katha.
Yes, definitely. Discussing Krishna Katha. Yes, that will also purify. Yes, Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya.
By not aspiring for sense gratification.
Yes, very important. Not aspiring for sense gratification. Because it is the sense gratificatory pursuits that causes envy. That's what Prabhupada is writing here. That competitive sense gratification. In the material world, everyone is envious of everyone else, and therefore there is competition. Okay, so the cause of competition in the material world is what? Sense gratification. Somebody has more sense gratification than me, somebody has more opulence than me, I become envious. So the cause of envy is sense gratification. So then, when there is no sense gratification in the center, that's what Prabhupada is writing. Instead of sense gratification in the center, who should be in the center? Krishna should be in the center. And so therefore, also an important point, a philosophical point, is to philosophically understand a very simple truth, that Krishna is in control. If one simply understands Krishna is in control, why we become envious? Because somebody has more than me, correct? Who has given the other person more? Krishna is the controller. He has given somebody more, he has given somebody less. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada says, if one is envious of anyone else in this world, ultimately one is envious of Krishna. Because it's Krishna who's giving somebody more and somebody less. So therefore the peace formula is what? Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarvalokamayeshwaram suradam sarvabhutanam yatvamam shanti. So if you simply understand, Krishna is the controller, Krishna is the enjoyer, Krishna is the best friend. So Krishna knows whom to give more, whom to give less, and whatever he does is for the best benefit of that jiva, because he is the best well-wishing friend. So why should I be envious of anyone else? It is Krishna's plan. If one simply understands this, one can be free from envy and one can be peaceful. And this is what is the Vrindavan atmosphere. So there are some beautiful quotes from Srila Prabhupada on this aspect of Nirmat Saranam. Let's read a few. Please read. Wherever the mic is.
Nirmat Saranam. Matsarata means to become intolerant when his neighbor is prosperous. In our Krishna conscious movement, if we become envious, oh, my God brother, oh, he has become so popular, he is making so much progress. So put some impediments towards his progressive path. This is also material.
Continue.
So this Bhagavad Dharma is not for such envious persons. Therefore, it is stated here, Parmo Nirmat Saranam Satam, not for the envious persons. The envious person, that means materialist, they will not be able to understand what is spoken in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Vaikuntha consciousness is that if your neighbor, if your brother is prosperous or progressive, then one should think, oh, he is so nice that he has served God so nicely. God is so pleased upon him that he is making so nice progress. That is Vaikuntha consciousness.
Yes. So one thinks, oh yes, God is so pleased upon him, so he is making progress. So if one is pleased that yes, Krishna has blessed someone with more progress. So that's the correct consciousness, the Vaikuntha consciousness. And this is other very beautiful purports, very well known, 7th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 12. Please read.
Everyone should be friendly for the service of the Lord. Everyone should praise another's service to the Lord and not be proud of his own service. This is the way of Vaishnava thinking, Vaikuntha thinking. There may be rivalries and apparent competitions between servants in performing service. But in the Vaikuntha planets, the service of another servant is appreciated, not condemned. This is Vaikuntha competition. There is no question of enmity between servants. Everyone should be allowed to render service to the Lord to the best of his ability, and everyone should appreciate the service of others. Such are the activities of Vaikuntha. Since everyone is a servant, everyone is on the same platform and is allowed to serve the Lord according to his ability.
Yes, these are some very, very important points that Srila Prabhupada is writing this purport, which is based on one of Prahlad Maharaj's teachings. So here Srila Prabhupada is writing that how everyone should praise another's service to the Lord and not be proud of his own service. Usually what is the tendency? Tendency is to be proud of one's own service. And other service? Useless. That's the usual tendency. One looks down upon others' service and one thinks oneself great. That is the tendency. But what Prabhupada is saying here? No, it should be reversed. One should praise others' service and not be proud of one's own. This is Vaishnava thinking, Vaikuntha thinking. He makes an interesting point here. He talks about Vaikuntha competition. This is Vaikuntha competition. So what are the differences between Vaikuntha competition and material competition? What are some of the differences? Yes, sir.
So in Vaikuntha competition, everybody is trying to please more and more Krishna. Even though they are competing, their main goal is to please Krishna more and more. But in this world, people are thinking of their own pleasure more and more.
Yes, good. So in material competition, who is in the center? I am in the center. But in Vaikuntha competition, Krishna is in the center. Everyone is thinking, even though there is competition, even though each one is trying to serve more, for whose pleasure? Krishna's pleasure, Guru's pleasure. They are in the center. Some other differences?
In Vaikuntha thinking,
devotee keeps other devotees on the above. Whereas in material thinking, he keeps himself above.
Yes, good point. So in Vaikuntha competition, one is thinking how to facilitate other devotees in their service. Okay? Whereas in material competition, one is only thinking about oneself. Okay, good. Saidish?
Spiritual consciousness, one thinks the success is success. Others pains and others is pain.
Yes, good. So in Vaikuntha competition, one is thinking other success is my success. Why? Because the combined success ultimately is for Krishna's pleasure. So ultimately it is Krishna who is going to be pleased by the combined success. And in material competition, other success, my failure. So one is only thinking about what is my success. But one is not thinking about how they can be a combined success. Any other points? Yes.
In Vaikuntha consciousness, one does competition to inspire others to do more.
Correct. And in material competition?
Material competition to
pull down the other person. Yes. So in Vaikuntha competition, so the basic mentality is, okay, this person is doing so much. Now let me try to do even better so that others are inspired to do even more. So the entire mood is to inspire each other to serve more and more. Unlike material competition, it is crab mentality. You know crab mentality? So it said if there's a basket of crabs, no need to put a lid. Why? Each one will pull the other. Tang kinchna. So this is what happens in material competition. Each one is trying to pull down the other. So then what is the combined effect? Everyone remains. So if there is material competition, even amongst devotees, each one is pulling the other, everyone comfortably remains in the material world. That's what will happen. But on the other hand, if each one is trying to inspire others to serve more and more, then there's a whole cumulative effects of enhanced service to Krishna. And that is so pleasing to Krishna. That is the reason why this cooperative behavior amongst Vaishnavas is so pleasing to Krishna. Example? Yes, the Prachetas. That's the most famous example. Lord Vishnu was so pleased because of the cooperative behavior, because of the friendly behavior. And so therefore, this is what should be our goal. The Vaikuntha competition, the Vaikuntha consciousness, which is totally opposed to the material consciousness, but it's definitely a challenge because we are conditioned to the material competition. We are accustomed to the material competition. That's what Prabhupada is writing. In the outside world, what do we find? Cutthroat competition. What does it mean? Cutthroat competition means what? I'm ready to cut your throat to go on the top. If that is what is necessary, I'm ready to cut your throat. That is what is the meaning of that, literally. And that's what literally people are doing. So this is our material competition, material envy. But then the consciousness has to be reversed in a spiritual society. If we want to progress on the spiritual path, then Prabhupada is writing, there may be rivalries and apparent competition between servants in performing service. Srila Prabhupada did encourage competition, right? Book distribution, Srila Prabhupada encouraged. But what type of competition? Not material competition, Vaikuntha competition is what is written. So no enmity between servants. Everyone should be allowed to render service to the Lord to the best of his ability. And everyone should appreciate service of others. Twice in this one paragraph, actually the purport is very long, but right in this one paragraph, Srila Prabhupada has written twice. What? Everyone should praise another service. Everyone should appreciate the service of others. Such are the activities of Vaikuntha. In the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we read these two well-known examples of the birds. In the Vaikuntha, there are so many birds who can sing so sweetly, but when they hear the humming of the bee, the bumblebee, which is a very irritating sound, correct? Who likes the humming of the bumblebee? Nobody likes. But still, when these birds of Vaikuntha hear the humming of the bee, what do? They keep silent. And they want to hear the glorification of the Lord by the bumblebee. They don't think, "Arey, what useless singing, keep quiet." They don't say like that. Encourage him. No problem. After all, he's singing glories of the Lord. Let us encourage. Let us appreciate. So this is Vaikuntha consciousness. And the other example is given as, yes, there's so many beautiful flowers, but still they all give respect to Tulsi. Tulsi flowers, we know, small manjaris, they're not very beautiful, but still they give respect because she's dear to the Lord. So this is Vaikuntha consciousness. This is Vaikuntha competition, where each one is appreciating others' service, glorifying others' service, not trying to put oneself on the top, but trying to put others on the top, trying to inspire and encourage everyone else. This is what is Srila Prabhupada's expectation from the devotees of ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada is writing these words in his Bhagavatam purports. And this is another very beautiful purport. This is the second last purport that Srila Prabhupada has given us in his manifest pastimes. So as we know, the last chapter of the 10th canto that Srila Prabhupada has given us is the 13th chapter. The 13th chapter is the last chapter that Srila Prabhupada has given us in Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, and you may have seen those videos. Srila Prabhupada is lying down on his bed, and the devotees are holding the dictaphone right to his mouth. You can see His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj is there, and some other devotees, Pradyumna Prabhu, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, they're there. And Srila Prabhupada is softly dictating his purports. So here, this is the second last purport of the 13th chapter. And Srila Prabhupada, fully meditating on Vrindavan, is describing the Vrindavan atmosphere in Vrindavan. Please read.
Nirmat Saranam. We are afraid to the forest and do not wish to go there. But in Vrindavan, the forest animals are as good as demigods, for they have no envy. Envy in this even in this material world, in the forest, the animals live together, and when they go to drink water, they do not attack anyone. Envy develops because of sense gratification, but in Vrindavan there is no sense gratification, for the only aim is Krishna's satisfaction. Even in this material world, the animals in Vrindavan are not envious of the sadhus who live there. The sadhus keep cows and supply milk to the tigers, saying, "Come here and take a little milk." Thus, envy and malice are unknown in Vrindavan. That is the difference between Vrindavan and the ordinary world.
Continue, please.
In Vrindavan, everyone is happy. The calf is happy, the cat is happy, the dog is happy, the man is happy, everyone. Everyone wants to serve Krishna in a different capacity, and thus there is no envy. One may sometimes think that the monkeys in Vrindavan are envious because they cause mischief and steal food. But in Vrindavan, we find that the monkeys are allowed to take butter, which Krishna himself distributes. Krishna personally demonstrates that everyone has the right to live. This is Vrindavan life. Why should I live and you die? No, that is material life. The inhabitants of Vrindavan think, whatever is given by Krishna, let us divide it as prasada and eat. This mentality cannot appear all of a sudden, but it will gradually develop with Krishna consciousness. By sadhana, one cannot come to this. One can come to this platform.
Yes. So how can one come to this platform?
By sadhana.
Sadhana. So by purification, one can come to this platform. That is the process. And so this is the Vrindavan atmosphere. Each one is thinking about the benefit of others. And okay, fine. Okay, so we'll take a break at this point and we'll continue. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.